All right, let's talk about the experiment that we are doing today. So first off, just a little background information. In science, there is this really cool law, and this law was made and first kind of proven by a French chemist named Antoine Lavoisier, I think is how you say his name. I'm probably pronouncing his last name wrong. He was the first one to prove that the law of conservation of mass is actually true. So in this law, he stated that the total mass of the reactants in a chemical reaction or a chemical change, it is always equal to the total mass of the products. We'll talk about what reactants and products are in just a second, but this is not always super easy for us to see. And so you're going to be doing an experiment today. And the goal is to figure out if we can actually prove that this law is true. It is a little bit tricky. We may not get like exact numbers, but we're going to do our best to prove that the law of conservation of mass is actually real and true. So here is some information about reactants and products. So when you hear the word reactants, those are the starting substances of a chemical reaction. If you look down here, all of these chemical formulas, you've got two different ones right here, two different molecules that you're looking at. These are the reactants. This is what you're starting with. The arrow then shows that a chemical reaction has occurred, and the products, the second part of the equation, are the substances that are produced. This is what you end up with after the chemical reaction. So basically the law of conservation of mass says that the mass of the reactants before the chemical reaction are going to be the same as the mass of the products at the end, that the mass will stay the same. So that is what that law states. So here's our goal today. We are going to try to, sorry about that. We are going to try to figure out how is the mass of an object affected during a chemical reaction. So you're going to be looking at something, trying to figure out, okay, does its mass change? How is it impacted during a chemical reaction? So here's what you need in your lab kit bag. It's in your cupboard that you'll have to go grab. Your bag should have your safety goggles. You're going to want to get these on again. You should have a little ziplock bag that looks like this. And I think your ALKA Seltzer tablet's actually inside the bag. But you should have a little package that looks like this. And it's got one white ALKA Seltzer tablet in it, and then you need your Ziploc bag. So just three things. So you're going to grab those, and then here's what you're going to do to set up your experiment. You are going to take your Ziploc bag, you're going to go to the sink, make sure that you are taking turns filling this up, make sure there's only one person at the sink at the time, and you're going to fill this up with about 1/3 of water. So I've already done that. Take a look at this. This is about 1/3 filled up. So it's filled up right about here. It's about 1/3 of the bag. And it just needs to be room temperature water, not hot, not cold, just kind of lukewarm right in the middle. When you get it filled up, close and seal the bag tightly. We don't want any of the water getting out. Then you're going to take your tablet out of your package, and you are going to get your tablet out. If it has broken or cracked, that is okay. Just leave it in the package. Well, actually, no, you can't leave it in the package. Take it out the best that you can. So what you're going to do then is you're going to place the tablet, and if it's just broken up, take all the little pieces for your tablet, place it on your digital scale, take your Ziploc bag that's filled up with the water, place both of these on the digital scale, let them sit for a second, and then you're going to record its mass. So what are the mass of the Ziploc bag, the water, and the ALKA Seltzer tablet before anything happens? That's going to go in the before section in your notebook, which we'll set up here in just a second. When you're done, because we are sharing the digital scales and we only have 6, so some of you don't have one at your lab station because a couple of them are currently not working. You're going to have to really take turns and go to one at a different lab station when no one's at it. But please take a wipe, disinfect it down when you're done using it so that the next person can use it. Have a seat at your desk and record that mass in the before section of your science notebook. So that's the setup. Once everybody has that done and we're all back into our seats, then we'll actually go through and complete the experiment. So you do need to be wearing your safety goggles on at all times during this lab. We are not eating or tasting the tablet. So make sure that is not happening. If anyone has any issues with the safety, following safety, you will sit out during this experiment. So make sure you've got your safety goggles on and you're not tasting or eating this. But basically what you're gonna do, and you're gonna have to do this pretty quick, you're gonna take your tablet or your chunks of tablet, whatever you have, and you are gonna open up your Ziploc bag, dump it into the water, seal it and close it immediately, okay? And then watch what happens. What's going inside of the bag, take a good close look at what's going on. Think to yourself, is this a physical change or a chemical change? Do you see any of those 7 signs of a chemical change? And then when you can no longer see your tablet, it's not visible anymore, you're gonna take your Ziploc bag that now has the tablet in it with the water, you're gonna put it back on your digital scale. Again, take turns, only one person at a time, and record the new mass. What is the mass of this now? After we've had that change, record it in your notebook. You're gonna record your observations. Again, disinfect the digital scale when you're done. So we'll have to really be patient and take turns with it, so you can't go there right away. Some of you will have to wait because we only have the 6 scales. And then for those of you that are virtual, I will post a video right here so that you can just watch this lab at home. And then we're gonna go through and answer these reflection questions. So when you have it all done, you're gonna go back to your seat, make sure your chart's fully filled out, which we'll set up our notebooks here in a second. And then you're gonna answer these 4 questions right underneath your chart. Please use complete sentences. This is something you're doing by yourself quietly. And then we'll chat about all of these at the end of class and see what you come up with. And then number 4, it tells you what to do if you finish early. We've got 2 more things we're doing today. There's a quizzes and there's a chemical reaction video that you're gonna be watching and completing the quizzes to give you more practice with this stuff. Okay, so that's the gist of the lab. It is a little tricky, so we'll see if we can get our masses, to be equal and match up. I'm curious to see kind of what we find out, but this is kind of a tricky one. So if our numbers are a little off, we'll have to talk about why that is, but I won't be too surprised.